With those creatures, crafted into killers, running free, the bottle ship had been turned into a nightmare replica of Zebes. And then here came Adam and the others. At this rate, the plan the Federation wanted to keep so secret would be revealed. So they sent in an assassin. Someone to wipe out any survivors as well as anyone who learned about the secret project. KG, James, Anthony, and Adam. Could one of them really be a traitor? Until I found out who it was, I decided to call the traitor the Deleter. On top of everything, I started to think about that woman. Was she the one who sent the distress signal? And could she be the person in charge here, Madeline Bergman? Either way, I knew I had to protect her. She would be targeted again. And she wasn't the only one in danger. I, too, would be considered a threat here.
Hey folks, welcome back to Other M. We are here in the Cryosphere, and we just basically figured out what the hell is going on here on the bottle ship. The government has ordered a sort of replica of planet Zebes, complete with Metroids. But along the way, they realized that was a terrible idea, and everything went horribly wrong, and now it's in disrepair. And the government wants to cover that up. So they've sent an assassin to take care of any remaining researchers, as well as anyone from the squad who finds out about what's going on here. So we just had a showdown with the assassin, and met possibly the last survivor on the entire colony, and then left them in a room together, without figuring out who the assassin is, or protecting the last researcher who might know what's going on here. So, yeah. Anyway, now we are moving along to a different place, because Adam says so, I guess. Now, a lot of people suspect Adam of being the traitor, actually. Because, one, that would be a pretty rad plot twist, and two, he just completely diverted this away from the traitor, and basically seems to be attempting to keep the traitor's identity an enigma, and thirdly, is trying to kill us, apparently, like, by sending us through the volcanic region without the Varia suit, and isn't activating our weapons when useful, and other things like that. So, Adam is actually very suspicious right now. Anyway, we are moving along this way, because we couldn't move along the other way, and here we have probably the closest thing to a morph ball maze in the game. It's never actually a maze, but it is an actual obstacle course. There are enemies that you can actually avoid other than using bombs on them. There's timing with the electricity. It's overall a challenging and somewhat interesting little gauntlet. On hard mode it sucks though, because as you know, I've mentioned it before, there's no way to concentrate and regain health while in morph ball mode. So basically, if you make a lot of mistakes and get down to the red, there is nothing you can do about it. Speaking of nothing we can do, there's a charge beam thing over there through a couple panes of glass. And if you are familiar with the Metroid series, you know which item we need in order to get through that, and again, we already have it. We got it in Super Metroid. But we need Adam to activate it for us, and he won't do that yet. We need to slide stylishly down this hill. And jump stylishly over here. And get into a matter of life and death cage match with a bunch of these space pirate dudes who are firing through glass panes. So, as you might expect, we're stuck in here until Adam authorizes that secret item, which I take issue with because, god damn it, Adam, why didn't you authorize it when we saw that there was a switch and it was the only way to progress, rather than when I'm about to die? And why are you waiting like 20 seconds? Yeah, there we go. Let's activate the wave beam. Wave beam, introduced, of course, in Super Metroid, like most of them. In the 2D games, it has kind of a sine wave motion, and can pass through certain materials. In 3D games, that's usually glass. And it basically allows us to kill these dudes, and also activate any like, charge beam switches that are through glass panes, which are essentially, hey, you need to have the wave beam to get through here, kind of puzzles, which we actually did see one of before. You remember I pointed it out. There was a, like, somewhere in a tube, a containment vessel for animals. There was one of the sort. Also totally useless one right there. So that's almost Metroid-like. It's like, hey, that was a thing. I should go back to it when I have the capability. And now we have the capability. But, of course, the linear nature of the game, we won't actually be getting back there for quite a long time. Anyway, let's go back through the exact same gauntlet that we just went through. But this time it's harder. The electricity is a little more aggressive. And this is actually a location that I died in several times, to be honest. My first time playing through hard mode, this is kind of a put down the controller and yell and rage quit kind of area. Just because I'm not very good at these timing kind of things. But as you can see, get through, roll on, be careful. And if you're really aggressive, or if you have several energy tanks, you can just tank this, honestly. It's not like certain Morphball mazes in the Prime games where the electricity would actually prevent you from moving, and you'd actually have to time things to get through at all, regardless of damage. Here, it's just you can tank through if you so desire, but I can't. I cannot, because hard mode, which makes me actually kind of glad. It means there's a genuine challenge going on in here. Now, the Zoomers are actually dicks here, because they can jump very aggressively and suddenly at you. So while you're worrying about the electricity, they might jump at you and kill you. So I would recommend taking care of them first. Anyway, now we're back here again, and we can activate this with our charge beam. And that activates a lift, elevator, slidey thing of sorts that will allow us to progress. Now this is a cool set piece, this avalanche thing. It is kind of a dick, because if you get caught, that's an instant game over, and you'll have to go through the maze again, I think, maybe. And you've already gone through that slidey bit once, so you sort of have an idea of a pattern. But it's still tricky. I honestly do kind of like it, to be honest. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to hate everything in this game, but I like that. It was cool. Anywho, now that we are equipped with the wave beam, we can take care of some of these enemies. And we can progress up through here. I'm not actually sure why we couldn't do this before. I don't remember. There was a reason. I remember I showed it off. Anyway, some of these platforms will be either frozen down, or will fall down if you try to stand on them. So you need to use a combination of missiles and ice beam in order to manipulate the platforms and make your way up. Now, it can be a little annoying because the Like, the floor is slidey, and it can be hard to judge exactly where you want to jump, and you can't grab onto the corners of the ledges. And this jump in particular, I remember I really disliked. But overall, it's pretty neat, although there's no indicator, I think, as far as I'm aware, of which platforms will fall down if you try to jump on them, so there is a bit of trial and error involved, which is not great, but it's still okay. I'll accept it. Not these guys, though. Screw them. Anyway, moving along, we now have a long linear corridor, except no, it's not really, because it's actually just standing on a platform while it moves linearly. Thrilling, I know. If you've ever played an action game, you can guess what's coming next. Ta-da! Elevator fight. Games love to do this. They love to have you on an elevator in a set small arena, and they love to throw several waves of bad guys at you as sort of an enemy rush. It's not really a boss rush, since they're not bosses, but an enemy rush, kind of an attrition kind of deal. And now we're actually dealing with these guys without the glass barriers in between us, so really they act a lot like normal space pirates. They're just more powerful. Oh boy, more of them. And as you can see, if you try to overblast them while they still have a certain amount of health left, they will just knock you off. They give no shits about your desire to kill them. And with the small arena, with all these wave beam things going around, and honestly, there's the fast shots and the slow shots, and there's a variety of things. And it is neat and interesting, and it can be kind of hectic. Be sure to be dodging craftily. Anyway, we're almost to the top. But we have one more prick to deal with. Now this guy, I'm not fond of this guy. I don't have a good grasp of exactly how his pattern works, as in how to exactly make him vulnerable. Because basically when he's sucking things up, you want to, yeah, like that. When he's sucking things up red, with a red mouth, shoot a missile at him and then overblast. But I have no idea how to trigger him to suck things up in the red. I saw that he did have some, ice on him, but shooting him with the ice beam is all you're ever going to be doing, so I don't really know. And of course, he's still alive, so we'll be seeing him again, you can be sure of it. And oh boy, long linear corridor is full of zoomers, I don't even care. And now we have a fun little wave beam thing. Actually, I like this puzzle. You gotta be somewhat observant to see that little hole in the pipe. But it's using a combination of abilities, using the morph ball bombs to get rid of the mysterious black fluid in those tubes, and then using the wave beam to shoot on through said tubes in order to activate a thing. It's neat. Now it's a little not so great because you can't actually see the thing you're aiming for until you've done half the puzzle. So you may be doing a thing, you're like, why am I doing this thing? And that's usually not good puzzle design. Anyway, little view of space here. Want to go to space. Space is good. Space is good. Dad, are you space? Yes, son, I'm space. Want to go to space. 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 Okay, that was space. Not a whole lot of space in this game. Need more space. Want to go to space. Anyway, we are now finally at the main elevator here, and we are going to get out of the cryosphere. Elevator. I like elevator. Dad, are you an elevator?
This
elevator.
Is bound for the main sector.
And let's head back to Sector 3, Lava Sector. You'll note that Sector 1 is locked there, so we cannot go back and activate that wave beam puzzle thing that I was stumbling over earlier.
Now in effect in Sector 3. An irregularity has been confirmed in the geothermal power plant and the experimental simulated desert area. All staff members are asked to please evacuate immediately.
So yeah, something's going wrong in the volcano area. That's generally not a good thing. Anyway, we can't go through that door, so let's go through this door. And look where we are again. We're in that volcanic crater place again. Don't you love this place? I love this place. You know how much I love this place? I love it this much. You can't see it because this isn't a video of me, but I have my hands approximately 2 inches apart. Anyway, let's get on up. Break through that glass. That was pretty badass, actually. And that's right, I'm saving when it's not mandatory. Look at me. I'm such a rebel. Anyway, this is a nice opportunity right here to use the Shine Spark, if you so desire. Entirely unnecessary, I think. No, actually necessary, never mind. But damn if it's not cool. See, the thing about long linear corridors is that they're perfect fodder for using the Shine Spark in cool, stylish ways. And they just don't really use that capability as much as I would like. I'm gonna kill this dude. I'm gonna kill this dude. See? Killed that dude. Anyway, we need to... Oh no, not this brick again. I assume that was a QuickTime event. Anyway, as usual, I'm terrible at fighting this guy. Really don't like him. And what more can I say about him? We fought him, what, twice before in various situations? Didn't we fight him in this room? Maybe I'm crazy. Go, get him. Ah. But yeah, I don't like him. I do not like him, Sam I am. I do not like him on a fox. I do not like him on a train. Those things don't rhyme, but I don't need to rhyme. I'm a new poet. I mean, these guys are simple. The concept is very simple. You shoot them in the face when their face comes out. And then you shove their face out, and then you shoot their face, and oh my god, I took care of him without it killing me. Amazing. Anyway, the reason for this excursion is to unlock that door that was locked before, because Adam, for some reason, could not unlock the door. And now, since that door's locked, let's walk back to the door. Yay. At least we get to Shine Spark again. If you're not very precise about your Shine Spark there, you can land in the lava and take some damage, but it won't be very much. Don't you love this? This is... I've used this joke so many times, but it's backtracking. It's what Metroid is all about. This isn't... Backtracking is fun when it's for exploration. When you're going somewhere, you see somewhere new on the map, it's like, I want to go there, and I'm willing to go through old areas to find it. Here, it's like, hey, go run through a couple of rooms, and then you can unlock a door right where you began. It's not rewarding, and it's not fun.
use of the grapple beam is authorized. Get to Anthony and cover it.
Alright, it's my favorite and one of my least favorite things in the game. So this is interesting. We've got the same brick that we fought before, along with some firebug enemies, but we also have Anthony providing us just a little bit of cover. Not very much, but it's still appreciated. Anyway, now that he's like buffed up a little bit, one round won't get him done. So let's run around and then dodge and maybe concentrate and heal a little bit. Luckily, Anthony can kind of distract him while we try to focus sometimes, possibly. But as you can see, I cut that very close. And this is actually a somewhat small arena, considering the fight. There we go. And as you can see, he opened up there with the red thing without any ice on him. So again, I don't know what triggers that. It might just be time. Oh, that's not healthy.
Whew. That was ugly. Thanks, Princess. So, you get called out here too?
Called?
Commander gave us a new directive to move as a unit. Our gather point was a navigation booth near here, but when no one showed, I figured I'd just take a look around. That's when I got jumped by those things you just saw.
What was your unit directive? I'm tracking that monster.
We were heading to the geothermal power plant to open the magma eruption port. Gotta restore the power in this place so I can see that pretty face of yours. Yeah, it seemed a little excessive to send the whole unit to do it, but he's the commander. He must have had a reason. So, Samus, how you feeling about the commander, huh?
Ian has arrived at the drive unit.
Ian, be careful out there. I know this is a routine fix, but don't let your guard down. There are 300 people on board. Their lives are in your hands.
Roger that.
Commander! The drive unit's going critical!
The unit is overheating beyond our estimates, sir.
Ian!
Commander Malkovich, unit meltdown imminent. It's going to explode.
Prepare to disengage the drive unit immediately.
But Ian's still inside!
Adam, I can reach him. Give me the order, please.
Lock and secure the shielding doors now.
Adam, wait! There's still time. I can make it. Please let me go. I mean, that's Ian. That's your little brother out there.
We're out of time, sir.
Adam, please, let me go. You have to trust me. Just give me a chance.
Commence drive unit disposal immediately. That's an order.
Adam was right. If we had waited any longer, it would have meant the end of those we had come to rescue, and the end of us as well. I knew that, but...
At the very least, you wouldn't be standing here now. That's what the commander was most scared of.
I was childish. No one should have to make the choice that Adam did, and yet all I could do was question his authority and make things more difficult.
Hey, you were just a pup then, and the commander knows it. Look, forget it. Sorry for hitting a nerve. We better get going anyhow. Man. Did something like that happen now? Huh. Best just forget about it. I'm out.
I knew the question Anthony was suppressing, and I knew the answer. If something like that happened again, I would hold fast to that glimmer of hope and try for redemption. That's who I am.